Oilersnation After Dark begins now.
Oh boy, do we have a lot to discuss from tonight's game. An ugly one down at Rogers Place. No other way to put it. Anaheim, the much better team in this hockey game. The more opportunistic squad. Their top players were better than Edmonton's. Their special teams was better than Edmonton's. Goaltending was better. Go down the list. And the Oilers, they say it's not a series until somebody loses on home ice. Well, I think we got ourselves a series as the Oilers lose 6-4 at Rogers Place. Round one series tied up 1-1 apiece, heading back to Anaheim. We'll break it all down here on Oilers Nation After Dark, which is brought to you by Bet365. 19 plus. Please play responsibly. Take advantage of Bet365's 3-goal early payout feature, where if you bet on your squad pre-game before puck drop on the money line and they go up by 3 at any point, you will get paid out automatically. Only available at Bet365. Michael Menzies joining me shotgun this evening. Devon Dubnyk. Miscommunication on pre-gaming. He will join us for Oilers Nation After Dark. There's a lot to talk about. A lot of players on the Oilers with bad games, including their captain, Connor McDavid, held pointless yet again in this one. There's some injury concern there as well. Menzies, it was an up-and-down roller coaster, and damn it, I thought they were going to pull it off at the end. Classic Oilers. Piss you off in every single way possible. Tie it up late. And then an inopportune icing for Matthias Ekholm. An offensive zone face-off win. And that's all she wrote for the Oilers. Give me a vibe check, brother.
Well, it's awfully disappointing. I mean, this game just looked a whole lot like many games in the regular season. A lot of home games where the Oilers would just try to push at the end despite being, poor for good chunks of the game. And tonight, their puck management was awful. It really looked like game 84 of the regular season and not game 2 of the first round of the playoffs. And the Ducks, you knew that they were going to have, much more urgency. We talked about in pre-gaming where, the Ducks, they kind of need this one. They need a split because they're going to be in a big hole down 2-0 to the Oilers. And the Ducks limited mistakes that they made in game 1, and the Oilers did not. And they had a lot of self-inflicted wounds in this hockey game, and it was awfully disappointing.
Once again, the Oilers had a lot of errors, a lot of mistakes, but this Ducks team, they get the splits. Game 2 effort, solid. Game 1 could have went any way possible, so we got some on our hands. There was a lot of Oilers fans before the series. Check our whiteboard in the office. Oilers in 4, Oilers in 5. I had Oilers in 6, still possible, but I think a lot of fans out here are realizing that the Ducks, they got something going on over there. Game 1, guys like Cutter Gauthier really struggled. Game 2, Cutter Gauthier came to play, and I'm curious as to what the general vibe is in the chat right now. So, do me a favor. Throw down your courtesy like right now. We're going to be here all playoffs long, an hour before puck drop on pre-gaming, multiple hours afterwards on Oilers Nation After Dark. We got Devon Dubnyk is going to join us. We also have the voicemail line active. So if you want to let it rip, what did you think about some of maybe Connor McDavid's play? Maybe, puck management on so many different levels. So often we say the Edmonton Oilers beat the Edmonton Oilers. Felt like that case yet again, but chat, this is why we exist. So let it rip respectfully in the chat this evening. And first things first, let's see what's going on with the super chats. Win, lose, or draw. We're always raising money for the Ben Stelter Foundation. All of your money in the super chat, it's headed to their foundation, a cause that does incredible things for families going through very, very difficult times. Dylan Jacob kicks it off, $6.99, and says, what was that abomination? Davo needs to step up and contribute in other ways. Stop trying to skate through everyone. We will get really into it a bit later, but Dylan, I could not agree more. We mentioned, or you made the joke, it was an ankle injury. Looked like a brain injury at one point because he just continued to try the same thing over and over. And I get definition of insanity, trying the same thing and expecting different results. I felt insane watching their effort. And it's again, game one, we talked about it, Menzies, so many stretch passes, so many hero plays. That was the case yet again.
Yeah.
From everyone but the second line.
Yeah, and just trying to pass pucks through bodies, a refusal at time to cycle. Like, I think the Oilers, when they get in the offensive zone and cycle pucks, that's when they're dangerous. I mean, just even look at game one, their game-winning goal. Draisaitl has the option. He can bump it back to the blue line or cycle it low. He elects to cycle it low. That leads to a game-winning goal. I just think there's more opportunities to do that. But if you're going to bring pucks back to the blue line, there's got to be a quicker release on a lot of those shots so they don't get set up and blocked. I thought the Oilers did a better job in this game getting shots through, but the Ducks are scoring goals in this game on not scoring chances. You know what I mean? Like early in the game, they're getting traffic in front, there are screens, and you're kind of like, the Oilers did that as well, but not enough, not as much as they need to. And just a belligerence, like a refusal. We're trying to thread pucks through bodies and sticks in the neutral zone to get up ice or skate through them. And McDavid was the prime example of that tonight. But there were others too. And overall, and that's just it's just contagious. It just gets to be in the same way that making, a cycle, a dump, getting to a forecheck game can be dangerous. The Oilers didn't have much forecheck because they weren't getting it into the zone deep. It was either turned over before or they were held back at the half wall and bump it back to the blue line. So there's a lot of areas there, but just it's disappointing because we've seen a lot of that in the regular season. And I think the hope was game one was, yes, the Oilers had more to give, let's say, but it was a step in the wrong direction, unfortunately, for what was in their control to do. You have to give the Ducks credit, but there was a lot in their control that they didn't help themselves tonight.
We talk a lot about making adjustments throughout a series, whether that's the coach, whether that's the players. Felt like the top line for the Oilers wasn't doing it. I'll say the second line, Leon Podskapanen, nothing applies to them because they were dogs once again, and they are the epitome of that forecheck game and cycling pucks around and playing muck and grind playoff style hockey. And then the third line of Nuge, whatever. I mean, I guess it was Matt Savoy at points too. There's no identity there right now. It's not physical. It's not a forecheck. It's a shittier run and gun style game. I see Osdro Gothia's in the chat, all capitals, said, stop trash talking our captain knowing he could be injured, dummies. And yes, that is definitely a factor. He got tangled up with Matthias Ekholm. I think I speak for everyone when we collectively shit our pants in the moment, absolute silence. But he was able to come back in it. We'll hear from Chris Naubuck, maybe McDavid postgame, and get an update from their side as we power through Oilers Nation After Dark. But before Connor got tangled up, this was the same story in game one as well. A lot of trying to put the team on his back and do it himself, which we always do this when we talk. I'm not going to ever tell Connor McDavid how to play hockey, but I can tell you it wasn't working this evening. Cale Slater is in $6.99. I love McDavid, but Jesus, dude was wearing freshly starched jeans in that one. Still a cup year, though.
Cup year.
Connor McJeans, T8 or TB something, $6.99. Ekholm was horrible. Caused the last 3 goals, but was rewarded with being on the ice in the end while Wallman sat on the bench. Puck management, not good. I felt from Ekholm on that last goal for the Ducks, or the 5th goal, the game-winning goal. An unnecessary stretch pass to try and make a play that, ends in an icing. The Ducks win the draw. And that's all she wrote. Lance Kane, $5. I think if the BBL and Bordsy's laptop kind of kissed, that would be the kind of vibe change we need. Really change the karma.
Whoa.
I'm willing to try anything, Michael.
A little
Menzies.
Travis Green, Ziggy Palffy.
That's
crazy. Let me take off the sponsor.
That's for an hour 2 or an hour 3 type thing, Lance. You got to get really Oilers Nation
Doobie
After
is
Dark
currently
for that.
here. I don't think he should be subject
Doobie, you
to
want to
watch
watch the
that.
laptops kiss? That's what the people want. That's what you get here on After Dark. Mackay and Dry drop $5 for Bordsy Bars. Davo Jeans, No nachos on ice. Szymanski scores, but we paid the price. Special teams got us thrice. Series tied up. We roll the dice. Cup ice.
Cup, yes. Sure.
We need more of that. We need more. Jordan 1399, scratching my head. Very disappointed in the play today. Forget about it and move on to game 3. Can't keep the best player to lace him down for this long. That is the hope. First, got to give a shout out. Boston Pizza. It is playoff time here. And if you're hungry for a playoff win, that means you're hungry for Boston Pizza. For 32 dark-ass years, a Canadian team has yet to lift the Stanley Cup. And this year, Boston Pizza is switching things up and appeasing the hockey gods with their beautiful playoff menu. They've got all kinds of new options. We got it for the mega stream. We ordered way too much. There's still cactus cuts upstairs in the fridge, and you should be taking advantage of their playoff menu all playoffs long. Let's get into the headlines, Brett. Give me some champagne poppy, and then give me Devon Dubnyk. Devon Dubnyk's appearances are brought to you by Swiss Stone Air. Join them. You can crush a couple of those. Don't throw them on the ice.
Yeah.
Not sure if it was nachos or Donairs. Guarantee you it wouldn't be a Swiss Donair. They've been open for 25 years and are now open 7 days a week. The pride of the North Side. Go visit them or get some ordering online. They can do that as well for you. Bring them in, Devon Dubnyk, who I want the chat to know, he didn't ghost me on pre-gaming earlier today. He was actually being a lovely father and was throwing footballs to his children out on the trampoline, which as a former kid who did a lot of that on the trampoline, Doobie, you're the man and you're always forgiven. That is more important.
That was wild today. I looked, I'm like, it's 9 o'clock. Wow. Okay. I was supposed to be on there 15 minutes ago. So that was my bad. Happy to join now. Unfortunately, not in great circumstances, but it's what it is. A long playoff series.
Well, I think if you joined us for pre-gaming, you might have said the Oilers might need to manage pucks a little bit better than in game 1. Is that fair?
It sounds about right. Yeah. And maybe talk about their special teams being better, which also didn't happen. So, it was disappointing tonight. Just sloppy. It felt disconnected watching the game. They're trying stuff, things that we're used to seeing, we just weren't seeing. And all of a sudden the things that we thought were going to be an advantage for the Oilers haven't really been. We thought, the defending of the Ducks wasn't going to be up to speed for McDavid and these guys, and they've actually done a really good job defending. They're tight for the most part, and there's just not a lot of room out there. And then obviously the power play just looks disconnected a little bit. They got possession and they look like they're going to get something going, and then just a pass just right on a stick and it's broken up. And when you got to go down the ice constantly and come 200 feet, it's hard to get anything going, never mind giving up shorthanded goals. So, I mean, honestly, if they had managed to win this game tonight, it would have been arguably 2 games they didn't necessarily deserve to win fully. Didn't deserve to lose, but not the level we're used to them playing. So I think that some adjustments will be made. I still feel fine about it, but definitely a little sloppy for playoff game. But I just keep reminding myself what the first 2 games looked like last year, and we're in a much better spot.
Absolutely. We do need to remember it's been worse before, and we've made lemonade out of lemons. Shit lemons, I might even say. But Doobie, the Ducks do need some credit, right? It's not a series till someone loses at home. Well, we've got ourselves a series here. And you kind of mentioned it where they were for sure the better team in this hockey game. There's no hiding it. Who's trying to hide it? The Ducks were better. But that could have been the same case in game 1 as well. And the thing that I'm feeling so far through 2 games is the Ducks have made some adjustments here. I mean, remember period 1 of game 1, that I don't even know what Ducks team that was. But ever since, they've done different things. We saw tonight, guy like Cutter Gauthier, invisible in game 1. He stepped out. And on the Oilers side, for me, It's the lack of adjustments, and we'll get into the power play in just a second. That's a different discussion, but as you probably just heard us rambling in the chat going off about, and it is specifically led by number 97, Connor McDavid, but the same effort up and down the ice, run and gun style, stretch passes, trying to carry the puck through a wall on the offensive blue line, and it wasn't working. I'm not sure with what Connor was eventually credited with for giveaways. Oh, they only say 3? It could have been a whole heck of a lot more than that, and it felt like throughout they were just going to continue to say, hey, Radko Gudas might fall over again, and we'll find a way to create off the rush. There was the second line of Kapanen, Dry, and Pods. They're a part of that cycle game, but I don't know, dude. I found myself so frustrated just being, are we seriously not going to adjust and try something different? And I get it. It's Connor McDavid. Who the fuck am I to tell 97 what to do out on playoff ice? But Doobie, where'd you kind of come out? Because I haven't seen much of a change here through 2 games, at least for that offensive style of play.
Yeah, and I mean, that's for sure true. I think watching the in zone play, I mean, that it was kind of just momentum killers. Nothing could really get going. They'd get set up, they'd start moving it around the offensive zone. What we're used to seeing, they start buzzing around, and then they just make a pass that would hit a stick and they'd go down the ice. And it just seemed to happen over and over where they just couldn't really get any momentum going. And we're not really used to seeing that, especially we're used to seeing that when McDavid and that line, they get moving around the offensive zone, there's at least a chance or two, and things feel chaotic for the defensive team, and it would build up, and then it would quickly get shut off by not necessarily just an ill-advised pass that we're not really used to seeing. It wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't bounces. It would just be a pass right onto a stick blade and out of the zone, and then they got to come back out and go back in, and even some chances against, just sometimes not. It'd be scrambly, and they didn't want to take their medicine and just flip the puck out. They'd kind of wait for one extra second and try to make a play, and just seemed a little disconnected, kind of all around, to where there just wasn't any sort of momentum build for Edmonton at any point in time. Anytime you felt like something was going to get going, it got snuffed out, and it's hard. You just kind of had that feeling throughout the game. It was hard to get anything going, and every time they had a chance to, they kind of shot themselves in the foot.
Well, the hinge point of this hockey game is when the Oilers claw back, Murphy gets on the board, they draw within 1, and then they get a power play where, it starts with, a sequence in the offensive zone. Granlund gets the puck, and he just kind of keeps gliding with it and says, okay, I'll take some more ice.
Nobody was going to challenge him.
I'll take some more ice. Next thing you know, he's on a one-on-one against Bouchard. 3 or 4 Oilers follow him back up the wall, all start puck watching. Next thing you know, McDavid does get it back. He throws it to an area blindly. There's no Oiler there, and it's tipped in front by Killorn, and they score. And that felt like such a deflating moment. And the Oilers have been guilty of some of these big deflating shorthanded goals against, and just their overall specialty teams as of late, we know, but they finally suppress, they get it back, and then it's just, as you say, disconnected, where they're not quite sure where they should be. McDavid's expecting someone to be there. He throws it to an area there on his strong side. And, yeah, now you're back in a hole, stuck 2 goals, and you're -2 on specialty teams for the game and -3 for the series now. And this just felt like the real turning point, because the Oilers were trying to build something after that Murphy goal and got the power play opportunity.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, watching that, you can say, McDavid threw that blind. I'm sorry, but when Edmonton has a power play and they just, sort of gave a little something up, like, he's putting that somewhere that somebody should be.
Yeah.
And there's no reason at all that entire side of the ice should be vacant. I mean, you want to go back, like, I don't know why Nuge leaves this puck too. I mean, he's probably sees Nuge right here, and he just leaves it. I mean, that went right past where his stick would be on the ice. And unfortunately, to cap this all off, you guys know I don't like picking on goalies, but this should be stopped. It goes underneath his arm. He's way out of his net. I didn't like this one much at all. I know it's a pass tip, but it's pretty straightforward. It's not any major movement. You can see where this puck comes. It's right to the front. Stoppable puck in my mind. I love Connor Ingram. I don't want to open the door to goalies starting to get ripped on at all. And I still think he's solid. I think in this game there were a few that could have been had, not should have been, not bad goals. I look at the Trouba one as well.
Yeah.
That's a shot from 70 feet out, whatever the blue line is. I should know that, but long way out with traffic in front of the net. Yes, but that's hockey. And you have a stationary shot from there. Your job as a goalie is, I realize he's not 6'6" like I am, and I can, I just look over top of everybody, but you have to find a way to find this puck. There's just no, it's not, and it doesn't find its way seeing eye to the top corner. It goes underneath his arm. Like you just have to find a way to get eyes on this puck. There's not enough of a crazy sort of any crossing screen or anything weird that happens up top, which can certainly happen. This is kind of too much of a set play where, yes, there's a screen, but this is going to fall on the goalie here that you need to find. This will be a good angle here that you can see. I don't know if you can pause it or not, but right here. So he needs to switch earlier. He leans, you can see he's going to lean all the way over to that short side right here. And so he needs to, again, like you can see, there's no screen but the front of the net here. And so on a wrist shot, it was just a D-to-D wrist shot here. It's going to be the goalie's job to get eyes on this when the only screen you have is two guys stuck in front of the net like a practice drill. If there's a high crossing screen here, that's a different story. But to me, watching this little bit, it happened in game one a little bit with that Troy Terry. That was a nicer crossing screen in front of the net by, I think it was McTavish or Kreider it might have been. But to me, this is one you just got to find because this, he doesn't see it and it goes in the middle of the net. So
is he thinking Wallman's going to float more to that side that, Ingram's kind of going to the short side and he thinks, okay, Wallman might be there to block that kind of split second decision, or
you can kind of get stuck. So it just needs to be quick. Like it's kind of a feel for the play. So right here, like now he's stuck on this side. And so right. To me, what I always want to do here is I want, if at all possible, it looks more on this angle. You can see better from the other angle, but I always want to favor looking on the inside of my net because it's easy. So on this play, you see he's short side, and then he has to push blindly to the middle of the net. And that's where the hole comes from because there's a lot of net there. So if you can pause it here, I'm always trying to, as I'm coming over here, I'm pointing at the screen like you guys can see my fingers. I'm always going to try to favor leaning to the inside of the net here. So the far side, because if I have to lean hard and see on the far side, I'm protecting that middle of the net. And worst case, if that shot comes to the short side and I then have to push into that blindly, it's much less net to cover. And I can kind of push into it in much more compact in closing that short side off. Whereas if you can roll this forward, when you get sucked over to the far side like that, you can see how much net there is. Right. And now when he pushes over, he's forced to extend his blocker, and there's holes everywhere. There's places for deflection. So I realize it happens fast, but in a game where I thought there was a few that maybe could have been stopped. I just think he needs to get going a little bit, and certainly not a poor performance, but he can get going, and just like everybody else on the team, I think they got a lot more to give.
We've definitely seen worse goaltending performances before.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It just yes. Yeah. In a game where your guys put up 4, it's just you just try to find one of those. But he still looks comfortable in there. He's not scrambly, and I think that's important for Edmonton.
There's no controversy, brother. He is our lead dog, and we're going to ride him till the end. I know you don't like talking negatively about goalies, so let me, because I think you're going to be positive about him. What'd you think of Lukas Dostal in this one? He stopped, I believe it was 33 of 37. It's an .892. I thought personally, he was sharp as hell, man. He was making good saves. He had Oilers shooters looking frustrated at points, and he was just in sound positioning. He was tracking pucks very well, and obviously game one didn't go his way. That was his first ever NHL playoff game. I was curious. He also said he doesn't totally hear the chants and what's going on. So we as fans got to chant his first name even louder. But Doobie, overall, what'd you think about Dostal tonight?
Yeah, if he can't hear the chants, he's switching over to his primary language and pretending like he doesn't know what Lucas means in Czech. But no, he's good. He's funny, right? Because like he doesn't look spectacular. He never does. He's not a big guy. He doesn't, he's conservative. He doesn't fly around in there, but he gets the job done. He always does. He's very, very good. And I think the Oilers have done a good job. A lot of their stuff is the goals have been traffic and shots to the net and rebounds and going there and all that good stuff. There hasn't really been flashy goals for the Oilers. Obviously Dickinson's breakaway, but we haven't seen, and credit to the Ducks, hasn't been a lot of that tic-tac-toe kind of wide open backdoor one-timers, nothing really pretty. So that's how they're going to have to get to them. And you got to, when the things aren't available and he's seeing the puck well and he's making solid saves, you got to find a way to make it chaotic so that Anaheim has to break out of the structure, and then that stuff opens. And that's what we're so used to seeing out of the Oilers, is creating that chaos and getting guys buzzing around the offensive zone where you lose guys and you lose seams, and then that stuff opens up and they make you pay. And as I mentioned earlier, whenever it seemed like that was about to happen, we pass it onto their stick and it'd go down the ice.
Well, it seemed like it's been a rebounds and screens series. Rebounds were a big story of game one, and screens seemed to be the big story of tonight's game in terms of the goal method. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there hasn't been it's because it's been kind of sloppy, right? For as far as you talk about disconnect and really offensive execution, there hasn't been a lot on either side. There hasn't been a lot of offensive execution. So that's usually where the goals come. And for having 10 goals tonight and 7 last game, there hasn't exactly been a lot of like crazy offense and crazy chances. So it's interesting.
A fair amount of the offense, at least for the Anaheim Ducks, have come on the power play. Doobie, you were here with us for the entire ride last year in the playoffs, and I'd even add the year prior. I can't remember a time where the Edmonton Oilers are losing the special teams battle, and dude, it hasn't even been particularly close throughout 2 games in this series. The Ducks power play goes 2 for 3 in this game. They have been tearing up the Oilers in this series and all season long as well. They had the Oilers' number throughout the regular season, and in this one, I mean, it's tough because you come into the game, right? You're already down Adam Henrique, one of your lead penalty killers. Jason Dickinson, a game-time decision. We quickly find out he's not going to play, and you're down 2 of your best forwards. So you say, hey, let's do the smartest thing and stay out of the box. I'm not bitching. I don't want to do this. I thought the Zebras, the Stripes, were being a little bit soft with some calls throughout this game, but that's besides the point. The Oilers need to find a way to get kills when they have opportunities, but the Ducks have been making them pay throughout the series, and what have you thought of them on the man advantage?
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, you look at the third goal, it's because it's not always just a setup in zone, and again, I hate to get negative and picking on it, but I don't love, Ekholm on the third goal. And it's kind of a weird play. Connor McDavid does a really good job kind of holding the puck at the blue line. He hangs on to it, he chips it, and then you see Ekholm kind of comes flying up the wall. And it's you obviously want a little pressure, but he gets lost here. So Connor McDavid holds it there, and then Ekholm comes up. I know he's trying to get the puck, but then not the best effort coming back either. He kind of reaches for the pass, and then the engine shuts off a little bit. But I think it just starts on the wall where, Gauthier is there, and it's you have to pick your spots on when you're going to try to go get the puck. Because if you don't, so he's fine here, but right now, that puck's not available. So now he's lost where you'd like to see him maybe closer to the dot here. So when this puck happens, he never even really gets that close to it, and he's caught back. Now you've got a 2-on-1 on the net here that goes, and I think he tries to throw this across. It gets blocked, obviously, and comes right back to him. But I just think it was a bit of a ill-advised jump there up the wall that he took himself out of position and kind of gave them a 2-on-1 out of really nothing, right? It was Cutter Gauthier held the puck at the blue line, and he backhand chipped it off the wall and then knocked it into the zone. And then you have a 2-on-1 at the net. That's the kind of stuff that you want to get rid of and tighten up a little bit if you're Edmonton.
Well, on that particular kill, you see it was Szymanski and Hyman. Hyman was thrown into the mix because Savoy's in the box on that particular penalty. And we talked about on pre-gaming, okay, no Henrique, and if then there's going to be no Dickinson. Savoy, because he was Henrique's usual partner, didn't kill much in game one or at all. And this was right before then the McDavid stuff. So, Hyman hasn't been in the regular rotation of penalty killers much lately, obviously with his injury, but throughout most of the season. And it was just another scenario where I wonder if Ekholm is thinking about overcompensating with a young Szymanski out there, or what's going through his head on that particular play. You don't know, but it's just an area there where we're talking about the personnel issues in this game with, okay, if Dickinson's not going to play and Henrique, those are two veteran type of guys. I liked Szymanski tonight. It's not I'm not crushing him or anything. It's just a matter of, okay, different horses they have in the stable for the penalty kill. For the Ducks team that is 6 for 16 against the Oilers this season in 5 games, right? The Ducks have had something going against the Oilers this season.
They have. Earlier this year, Mikael Granlund scored a hat trick on the power play alone against the Edmonton Oilers. So it's something, once again, they might not have all the personnel they want out there, and then you throw in 97 and whatever's going on with his ankle. I should mention to the chat, we are reading, and we'll have post-game clips for you. You can hear it from McDavid himself, but I believe the wording was, it just got rolled up on, it is fine. McDavid on his ankle. Is he telling us the complete truth? I don't know, but I appreciate at least that he's lying to me, so I sleep better. Tonight, Doobie, we've been awfully negative. I'm seeing people in the chat as well, and I agree. It's a 1-1 series. We're going to Anaheim. Nobody ever said they were going to sweep, or at least I didn't. Producer Brett said they were going to sweep.
I definitely said it.
Well, the whiteboard out there has several sweeps.
I said 6. Yeah,
so we're 6 as well.
Sitting pretty.
You had said 6.
Great minds think alike. Shout out the pre- and post-game team here. But Doobie, there is positives. There was a guy on pre-gaming we discussed, who do we need to see step up and be a little bit better in this hockey game? I thought Evan Bouchard was better in this game. Once again, he had a rough one in game number 1. There was at least urgency with Evan Bouchard at points. We saw it on the power play. He was ripping pucks, concerted effort. Felt like the power play was running through him. He had some good one-on-one rush defenses, you can say, where he poked pucks free, and it was just something we needed to see, because for the last couple weeks here leading in to the NHL playoffs, we love Bush, but it had become more lackadaisical. The term we used earlier today looked like September, October Bouchard out there when we expect playoff Evan Bouchard. I'm curious, what'd you think about him? It was obviously not good in game 1, but I think it was definitely a step in the right direction tonight. We need positivity here.
Yeah, and hey, listen, for everybody in the chat, when we're just pointing out the Oilers lost 6-4, we're just pointing out why. Certainly not negative as far as feeling on the playoffs. And the thing that you want to take a positive is there's a lot of room for improvement, and they were 4 minutes away from they were going to overtime in game 2 and having a chance to go up 2. So that's what I'm looking at, is we're that close to going to having a chance to go up 2-0. And to me, there's just a lot of room for improvement for this team. So definitely positive that way. And yes, Bush was good tonight. He had a phenomenal year. And again, you're not comparing to last year. It's a different year, but first 2 games last year were catastrophic for Bush. And then he went, and then he turned into playoff Bush, and he was unbelievable, and was a massive reason that they went to the Cup final. So the quicker we can get him going, everybody knows how good he is and how good he was all year. He's a massive piece to this group. I know, you're not going to put him McDavid and Draisaitl, but as far as the back end goes, those guys make the front end tick, or the whole ice tick. But he's that piece on the back end. They need him going, and when he's going, they're a much different hockey team as opposed to when he gets a little sloppy. And I think you're right. I think he was better tonight, and I think he's got more. And again, when he's flying and he's going, he's a weapon.
Josh Szymanski scores his first NHL goal off his stick on a shot.
Where were you when Josh Szymanski almost saved Game 2 for the Edmonton Oilers? I was partying.
A beautiful shot for Szymanski, and obviously, that was a big storyline today. Was he draws into the fold for the first time? This is a huge goal for the Oilers to keep it. Right in the mix there in the third period. But what did you think overall of Szymanski in the debut?
Yeah, it was great, and a huge goal, and a great finish too. So it's got to be fun for him. It's a whole different world going out there in the playoffs. So you look at, not a ton of time on ice, but when you're +1 and you score a goal, you're doing something right. And he's a big boy. That was a wicked shot. You see that come off his stick, just explodes. And unfortunately, it would have been nice if that, turned into a win. But you got to have these guys that can come in and out of the lineup, and he's got all these tools. He's a big, tall kid, and he plays hard, and he can play those kind of fourth line minutes as well, and then give you plays like this where he's ripping that. That's not a great angle. It's not bad, but he's on the face-off dot, and he puts that thing in a perfect spot and is going to that right area. So I really liked it, and again, he's a guy that's just going to get more comfortable and better as this playoff goes on, whether however much he gets in there or not.
His development this year has been a very bright spot, but it definitely cushions the blow of no Adam Henrique and no Jason Dickinson, both of them at the same time. It's rough. And I mean, the story with Josh Szymanski, what a year. Over the summer, he played in the World Championships. He plays in Bakersfield, plays for the Oilers in the NHL, goes to the Olympics for Germany. Now he's back playing NHL playoff games for this team. It's a bright spot here, and a good move from the Oilers. Not a guy I expected to be playing playoff minutes for the Oilers, and I don't know. It's just rewarding to see. It's nice to see, and he deserves kind of every single bit of it that's coming his way.
So why did they change the line of Szymanski, Duck, and Frederick, you think? Because that was where we assumed it would slot. Is it because they didn't like the look of maybe Lazar with Nuge and Rosovic, but that seemed like the more comfortable position because they played a couple games together and they elect not to try that look.
I guess in my opinion, it's because they kept Colton Dach elevated on the third line with Nuge and Jack Rosovic. Maybe just he brings enough of the energy, and maybe what Nuge and Jack Rosovic don't bring, which is some piss and vinegar, some sandpaper there. But I do think, Doobie, I don't know how much you were watching near the stretch run end of the season. It was Dach, Szymanski, and Frederick. That was a three. I mean, it's the Bash brothers on the wings, but Szymanski was a part of it. They broke it up a little bit. I'm curious Nobby loves to blend up the lines, so we'll see what happens in Game 3, especially when they don't have last change anymore. But I guess, what'd you think of the Bash brothers in this hockey game as well?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised if you do see that. I get, when you lose one guy, it's different. When you lose two, I know we obviously knew Henrique was going to be out, but it gets a little more difficult to try to manage the lines and get what you're looking for. But I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to that, especially with the success they had toward the end of the year. So they're just they're gonna have to find. It sucks when you lose guys, because we talked before game one in pregame, just looking at the Oilers lineup and the forwards, and kind of loved the look of it. And it didn't take long to lose a guy out of that mix. And I don't know. Obviously, it looked like an ankle for Henrique, so I don't know how long that's going to be. But hopefully Dickinson can get back too. But this is part of playoff hockey, and coach will be certainly he's never afraid to mix the lines up, and I'm sure he's going to be tinkering here to try to get 4 lines doing. I mean, I think the Draisaitl line is kind of the only one that's really consistently over the 2 games been really good and been really effective. But that's good, and you don't necessarily want to break that up, but you could look at breaking that up in order to get other lines going, because let's be honest, Leon Draisaitl is going to make anybody better around him, just like McDavid does. So tough to think about breaking that one up, but when you got multiple pieces missing, you might have to try to get everybody else going as well.
Injuries, I mean, it's a part of the playoffs. It's a damn shame that it's happening this early. Like, I mean, it's crazy. When McDavid went down at one point, I turned to Menzies and I went, are you kidding me? That game one's lineup, we were talking down the spine, McDavid, Draisaitl, Dickinson, Rico, that you might lose 3 of those, and that Leon would now be the healthiest centerman on the roster, as he missed the entire last month of the season. It's a cruel world out there, but it's something that everybody's dealing with. But Oilers need to protect maybe their lower extremities a little bit for the next couple of games, because it's bad luck right now.
Well, on that line, like, just further to that Draisaitl, Kapanen, Pikolzin line, like, just think of that work on the 3-2 Murphy goal. Like, Kapanen, like, works like hell to hold in the zone. Draisaitl protects the puck, and then Murphy finds the soft ice. And similar to where maybe Ingram was getting lost, Dostal gets lost, and there Murphy's able to pop it in. But that's another example of that line's been able to protect pucks better in the offensive zone. I think been more comfortable cycling pucks, and they're
the only ones cycling.
Yeah,
pucks.
they've benefited from it and created and been, I thought, really, really dangerous.
Yeah, they've been fantastic this whole time. And it's funny, you realize like how much of a team game hockey is, because you think, injuries, it's like, no offense to these guys, but it's like, if you lost Henrique and Dickinson, they're lower line guys, whatever, but it's so much more to that, like the way they fit into the group, and you lose any 2 players and it throws the whole thing off. And obviously you need guys to step in, but it's not just losing a top guy. If you lose, everybody's got their spot and what they bring, and you lose anybody, never mind a couple. It can take a little bit to make adjustments, and I think this will be a good couple days here for Edmonton to kind of reassess what they have for healthy bodies and try to juggle a little bit and figure out what's working. But I agree with you. Kapanen's look, I mean, take away the goals. Obviously, those are awesome. I just think both games he's been phenomenal.
He's a dog. He's a dog through and through. And once again, he had some struggles late in the season. I was a little surprised game one. He was going to be in the top 6, but man, he's taken that opportunity and run with it. And that's where familiarity with him and Podkolzin and Leon Draisaitl, it's paying off right now. Final one. I know it's late as shit over where you are. It's actually tomorrow where you are. Shout out the Central Time Zone. One thing on the Anaheim Ducks, a guy that we talked about on pre-gaming, didn't notice him at all in game number 1, was Cutter Gauthier, a 40-plus goal scorer in the regular season. He's young, and he's one of the lead names. Anaheim defined by their top-end young talent. He led him in goals, and he led him in points. And tonight, he got promoted to the top line. He replaced Chris Kreider with Leo Carlsson and Troy Terry, and proof's right there on the graphic. 2 goals, 1 apple, 4 shots. He was all over it. And even on the Trouba goal, he was the screen in front of Connor Ingram. So getting involved that way as well. Talk about Connor McDavid has now been kept in check for 2 games. I don't know how long that's going to happen. I had that same feeling about Cutter Gauthier in game 1, and he was pretty good in this one, Doobie. What'd you think about Cutter?
Yeah,
Kind of a name
listen,
stat.
this is, yeah, it's a great name. No, he was great, and that's the thing with this Anaheim team, right? We can't forget that this is a good team, and they've got some young, explosive talent, and he showed that tonight. And you know, not just a flashy guy, but he plays hard. You know, he set up the goal. We went over the power play goal. Great job keeping it at the line, just getting grimy along the boards and holding that puck in and getting it low. So, you know, he kind of does a little bit of everything. He's scored the 2 goals, but he's in front of the net. He's grinding along the boards. He kind of does it all. And, you know, there's lots of guys you can go down the list for Anaheim that are dangerous. I thought Jackson Lacombe, I mean, I don't watch a lot of Anaheim Ducks games. So obviously I'm aware of who Jackson Lacombe is and I've seen him, but he looks like a beast out there. Big boy and moves extremely well. He looks really, really solid. So, this is I think the most important thing for the Washy.
There's
I mean that's
for the
really
Ducks.
the thing for the Oilers is that disconnect that we talked about. If they can just get a little more clean, because these guys can make you pay if you get a little sloppy or the turnovers, you know, over tracking back, all that stuff. These guys are dangerous, and they can put pucks in the back of the net when they get opportunities, and Cutter Gauthier did that tonight.
There's always going to be disconnects. There was for us earlier on pre-gaming, but we reconnected here on ONAD. Yes, Producer Brent?
Before Doobie leaves, there's one thing that we needed Menzies to do for Doobie. So, he could do
knob
the
block.
Oh, okay.
No, I thought we played. We played all right.
It's his
I thought we
Knobloch
had
impression.
We had some good looks, but we can't give away pucks like that all the time. And I think we'll be better. You know, we'll be better, and we'll have to be better.
That's Chris Knobloch.
Now we got Knobloch and Jack Michaels, or no, Kevin Quinn. Sorry.
overtime winner.
I was hoping for that.
There we go. Doobie, we love you. We appreciate you. You can head to bed now. Devon Dubnyk, former goaltender,
Are you going to stay up for Wild Stars and double OT right now?
I'm going to have to poke my head in. It's on in the other room, so I might not be going to bed just yet.
All right, Doobie, we love you. I'd say get some sleep, but yeah, watch that game, and we'll talk again on Friday.
Yes, sir. See you guys.
Thank you, sir.
There he is, Devon Dubnyk. Absolute beauty. And once again, I mean, this 2 now shows you get to do with Dubes. There's nothing I love more than just whenever there's goaltending discussion that needs to happen, Connor Ingram, whether it's Dostal, Stewart, Skinner, Pickard back in the day, there's nothing like asking a legitimate professional, where a lot of us in the chat never played high-level goaltender before, and being able to sit back and go, all right, tell me how it is, and we appreciate it. I feel like we all get smarter every time we talk to Dubes.
Just especially on when you can break down and look at the
Looking
clips.
to the outside, to the inside. Like, that stuff I don't know. I can't give you that.
Well, it's interesting he said that on that Trouba goal, because how many times does a goalie do get beat on the short side, right? And because the goalie is, playing toward the middle of the net. I had miscounted when I said the power play stuff. They're 7 for 17 on the power play, because it was +3 tonight, 2 in the power play, and then 1 shorthanded. So that's just going to be an area, there'll be a lot of time to diagnose some of the self-inflicted wounds, because even on that earlier play, we're talking about what leads to a Nurse cross-check that may have been, soft
as shit, I'll say it.
On McTavish. Well, that all starts with Nurse just a slow pass backward in the D zone that keeps the puck in. It's recovered by the Ducks and then leads to the penalty. And so you talk about the things that set up the goal, like you talked about with Ekholm and the icing and some of those scenarios. So,
it's not direct turnovers, but it's ones that lead to, and you can't stop the bleeding.
Effect,
I always say, the team who more often than not beats the Edmonton Oilers is the Edmonton Oilers. They are their own worst enemy. But that's also why when you feel confident the rest of the series, if you clean up some of these mistakes and you make the adjustments, watch the tape, Nobby, boys, I think we should dump some pucks in a little bit. Maybe we should try something else. Hey, I got some confidence heading into Game 3. Shout-out time for Derek Dodge, Edmonton, a fantastic friend here on ONAD. And it's the beginning of a new chapter for Derek Dodge as they are under new ownership, bringing a fresh approach, new energy, and a renewed focus on customer experience. And right now, they've got an unbeatable deal. With every vehicle purchase, you will receive a trip for 2 to Viva Las Vegas. You heard that right. Leave the lot with your vehicle and flights and accommodations for 2 to Sin City. That's a deal that is tough to beat. Derek Dodge, visit him 6211 104th Street Northwest or derekdodge.com. Couple more super chats as well before we move along in this, I want to say turd sandwich of a hockey game because there was good, but I feel like a turd right now. QF Pro, $10. I would say I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Like your mom and dad back in the day. But I'm also kind of mad too. Oh, there it is. It's the playoffs, and McDavid is playing through an injury and making a ton of mistakes. You have a team, Davo. Let them help.
I just don't see how one is leading to the other here. Like the McDavid turnovers were happening in Game 1.
Yeah, I was good.
They're happening in the first period. And the McDavid turnovers are not affecting his eyes. They're not affecting where he's trying to force pucks. They can take some of the burst, but it's not.
I'd also argue the burst was still, maybe not to 100%, but he was still slicing and dicing pretty good.
Yeah, and again, it's not about, crucifying the guy and, the sky is falling, but I've not seen him play a worse playoff game,
I think it's back-to-back games without a point. That's the 5th time I read Shutout Sportsnet stats in his playoff career that he's been held pointless in back-to-back games. 2 points was minus 155 on Bet365. Didn't even get one.
Might get more value later on if that continues. Right?
Rusty at $5. Worst game I've seen from the Oilers in a while. It was a 1-goal game. Oilers in 5. Hashtag figure it out. You got an Oilers in 5 quick on your top of your head that you can get out?
It's tough. Hilarious Kevin Carius.
Oilers in 5.
Sammy Hellenius.
McDavid 97.29 dropped 2 pounds just with a GIF, whatever you want to use, and
Brett was doing it behind
the scenes. Yeah. Somebody's on one knee with the arm up and has a cape on. Brett is also wearing his cape, in case people were wondering. Bob Stoffer's in $6.99. Davo needs a quick PJ to Germany like Leo for his ankle and come back in 2 days. I also do believe...
Well, we did say that in the room.
Yeah, we did immediately.
Get
Dr. Fart on the line. Get him to Edmonton.
Yeah, we needed the fartster to track down with Szymanski's 6 siblings and parents to come watch. But
Brett, I didn't email you the GBO, so we'll just do it off the dome.
We're doing it live.
We'll do it live. Fuck, we're doing it live. Let's go now. GBO, Good, Bad, and Oily, brought to you by Oodle Noodle. We ordered Oodle Noodle.
Yes.
Even before pre-gaming. Tokyo Glaze. What'd you get, Brett?
Singapore box.
And Battle also got... We were basic boys tonight, basic bitches. I'll say it. A couple Tokyo Glazes. Still got some leftovers during the playoffs on game day. If you're at work and you're rushing to get home or then get to a friend's house, whatever, you don't want to cook, let Oodle Noodle and Sunny do that for you. And you can order on their app. Take advantage of many deals, including the $2 deal. On top of any regular premium box, you can get for $2, 2 green onion cakes, 5 spring rolls, or 6 deep fried wontons. For the good, Michael Menzies, I'm going with the second line of Vasily Podkolzin, Leon Draisaitl, and Kasperi Kapanen. This is what I hate looking at advanced analytics, because on Natural Stat Trick, their expected goals for percentage is in the 40s. I disagree with that. I love the style of game that they're playing and they're bringing. You just heard Devon Dubnyk say it, that Kasperi Kapanen he's been a dog. Pods, you know what you're going to get with him. He's been in front of the net. He is finishing every single check that comes his way. Thunderous crashing into the boards. The crowd feeds off of that kind of stuff when they're going in on the forecheck, something that we keep discussing. Not many other trios or forward groups are really doing right now. It was funny. Maybe not funny. Second or third period, after just watching McDavid just get stopped on the blue line and lose the puck and then get stopped, or maybe he gets it through, dishing it off, immediate turnover. It was so refreshing to watch Vasily Podkolzin just put his battering ram of a head down, flip the puck into the O-zone, drilled the defender into the boards, stripped the puck, threw it back to the D, and that's playoff hockey. That's a playoff style that is always going to work. That works in the regular season. It's the hard hat, the lunch pail, the thing I say all the time. And Leon, he looks good. Definitely not 100%. He even said that after game one. We know it's going to take some time, but this trio, thank the Lord for them right now, because they're a trio specifically in this game that we're playing the right way.
Yeah, and, I mentioned Kapanen's work on that Murphy goal, but the same could be said on the first goal, where they were 2 or 3 huge puck recoveries, grinding, and then, Draisaitl throws it in front. They get the bounce off of Hellison and in. And that line is the most equipped right now to win puck battles, because they're not getting to the puck first in a lot of these and not emerging out of the pile with the puck either. But that line has found ways to collect those rebounds, win those 50-50 puck battles, and create chances that have led to goals. So I've been really impressed with Kapanen, considering how he was trending at the end of the regular season. He's elevated his game, but Colson has been good again, and Draisaitl, after a layoff of a month,
all
roughly,
things considered, pretty good.
Yeah, he's been the one that's been driving play in that second line and for the Oilers offense in general. So, I thought, and they tried it a couple times, but the power play entry might be better suited for Draisaitl at the moment.
We saw him try a couple, we'll get into the special teams in just 1 second with the bad, but at least they did try some different entries in that aspect. But the good, I would say that second line, and then Evan Bouchard. I really did like Evan Bouchard's game in this one. That was playoff Bouch. That's the guy that we know and love.
Josh Szymanski as well for good, as we alluded to. I mean, just a beautiful shot and just
against a goalie.
Yeah, against the goalie. Yeah, and it went directly into the net en route.
If you don't remember, the reason we say this, Szymanski scored 2 goals this season. One was a battle on the half wall against Tampa Bay. Somehow, someway, the puck shot out and somehow, someway beat Vasilevsky with no shot on goal as a credit. And then later on, near the end of the season, it was an odd man rush up the ice, and Szymanski tried to feed Frederick. It went off the defender's skate and went in. Wasn't credited with a shot on goal. But tonight he did get that, and the game started at 4 a.m. for his family back in Germany. So hopefully they're hitting the hay right now.
Yeah, they should be proud of him. I mean, that was a tying goal in the third period, and afterward you're thinking, okay. Are we getting no extra time? What are we doing? So good for Szymanski. And I think it's going to be, curious to see on the health here of both Dickinson and Henrique. We have no timelines. Szymanski, I liked, should have been in game 1, I thought. But you just wonder, how the Oilers looked before they got Dickinson and what their third line issue was. And that line of Nuge, Roslovic, and Doc, largely not a whole lot happened. And Dickinson as the 3C changed their look a lot. And if he's going to be out any extended time, it's going to change how this team looks.
That's why, Doobie kind of mentioned it there, and the term is they use it in the NBA a lot. Replacement level player type dealio. That, your Dickinsons, your Ricos, yep. They statistically not putting up a whole heck of a lot. Offensively, not a lot of tread still left on those tires, even though we saw what Dickey did in game 1, but you can't replace the instincts that they have, the don't know what, like, I'm not a writer, so I'm struggling for the word here, but the intangibles, there it is, that shows up on the penalty kill. And the reason guys like Dickey and Rico have had long-ass NHL careers and have ownership of a PK unit, and it's no secret that when Dickey joined the Oilers, Murphy joined the Oilers, that got better. You're missing that right now, and hopefully the Oilers can find a way to get that back, which leads me into my bad, because I'm going straight up with just special teams. You could pick the Oilers' power play. I feel like we've been nice. Once again, Brett, if you want to play that McDavid, the bad goal, the shorthanded goal one more time. This is a play from Connor where we got to be honest with ourselves. If Evan Bouchard did this and had this mistake, he would be tarred and feathered through the streets right now. People would be trying to crucify him. Connor had a bad play. I hope we can now all remember this and go, good players do make horrible plays from time to time, even with the power play. But the other point that I want to make is even before Connor McDavid turned that puck over Menzies, when Granlund was just going for a Sunday stroll on up the ice, barely anyone, I think it was Bouchard, who maybe had some ounce of one-on-one defense and physicality. There were 4 other Edmonton Oilers completely puck-watching. Granlund or whoever it was could have scored on his own right before that one, taking it down in front of the net. It was frustrating on so many levels. Like, this is bad. It was already terrible well before this, and it's frustrating stuff. Brett, I do believe we have Connor McDavid. We actually have 2 guys from the power play speaking about the power play for our post-game interview. Sounds in the room. So let's listen. Let's listen to the man himself, Connor McDavid, speaking to the media post-game about the power play and that it may be a work in progress right now.
About last game, wanting to maybe tighten things up a little bit on the power play. What do you think happened tonight?
I still thought we got looks. I still thought, we had chances. Obviously, we got to find a way to score. Can't give up a shorty either. Yeah, it'll come.
Is there something that you need to see more of when you know the power play's not going to get it back?
Well, I think it's people forget we're Leon's just back, Heisey's just back. We're as good as the power play is. It's still a work in progress. We haven't ran our normal routes and had our normal looks for some time. It's not just a light switch, so we're working at it obviously, and we'll be a part of the series. We will be.
Now, I do want to say with the power play as well, Connor had mentioned it. They did have some looks. They had some chances. They had some opportunities. Bouchard was ripping pucks from the blue line. Like early on, there was one power play sequence where he ripped one, tried to rip another one. And I say, hey, if it hits the net, sure. If it also hits an Anaheim Duck, I am down with that as well. But Menzies, not very often that the Oilers are losing the special team battle and losing it this considerably.
Well, the first power play I thought may have been their best, where Nugent-Hopkins had a chance in tight. McDavid just missed Hyman on a sift pass. There was a backdoor look for Nuge again, and then it eventually ended because of the Roslovic trip. But I thought they had some looks there, and then the one you talked about with Bouchard. But the concern I had when the power play wasn't going well without Draisaitl and Hyman was that all the talk at that time was, well, they'll get these guys back, and the power play will be fine. What I didn't like was that they didn't really find other, release points or trigger points about how they want to attack if that isn't working, to still carry over some momentum so it wasn't all just, well, now these guys are back and now everything will go as it once did. And so that's where I was a little frustrated with that. Draisaitl had one timer, but there was a couple times where he didn't rip it. And we saw him fan on some one-timer looks in game 1 as well.
McDavid was looking for him.
Yeah, but this Oilers team is built to win special teams battles and do that in order to win important hockey games. That's their bread and butter. This team isn't built to have a 41 save neutral zone trap 2-1 win. They're built to have their specialty teams help win them hockey games, be plus in that category, and do that. So
make the opposition pay, capitalize on their mistakes.
Yeah, and so you're -4 in the series and on special teams, right? And it's a short sample size.
That much already, hey?
Yeah, you know, like that's a big effect because 5-on-5, the Edmonton Oilers outscore the Ducks. So it would have been 1-1, 2-1, they're up, 3-1, they're up, 4-1, they're up. They outscored them 4-2. 2 power play goals, a shorty, and an empty netter. Right? So even with everything that happened, 5-on-5, with puck turnovers and everything else, you're still in a scenario where you outscore them 4-2. And if there's a saving grace in that, it's that the Oilers had the puck a lot. The Ducks didn't forecheck a lot, and it doesn't seem like that's necessarily going to be their game. That they want to sit back and try to go the Oilers into these mistakes, almost taking their chances that way. So far, it's worked. They've gotten the split. But it's been the 5-on-5 play down the stretch of the season that has carried them through. They're going to need to do better on those specialty teams.
Xavier Bourgault, shield your ears because Wyatt Johnston gets the game winner in double overtime.
The Wild Loon!
The Wild Loon!
Yeah.
Stars, 2-1 series lead. Late one, at least Doobie didn't have to stay up to watch that as well. Some people in the chat saying for Connor's post-game interview, man, he looks beaten down and should have his ankle in that hyperbaric chamber immediately when he gets back
like
home.
lightning game, McDavid.
Oh.
You know, where he talked about that's where the pillow fight originated, and he was talking up John Cooper and all that shit.
I do like this from Rusty, the oily optimist. We need optimism. He said the power play will get going. It was brutal in games 1 and 2 last year. Once it gets going, watch out. And that's the thing where maybe you wish you could have more insight and analysis. I also agree with that this team, those players are too skilled. They're too experienced for them not to figure it out. Thing is, they got to get going here because we've got ourselves a 1-1 series tie. I also believe we have Zachary Martin Hyman speaking to the media post-game, also discussing the Oilers and their man advantage. I haven't listened to it yet either, so let's find out together. Give me a Zach Hyman.
No, I mean, I think we're obviously a little bit rusty. It's the first time we've been back, all 5 of us, in a little bit, and sometimes you just need the first one to drop. And we've had looks, we've had chances, but we can be sharper and much cleaner.
You guys had a lot of passes that were knocked down. Is it more, they have great sticks, or is it more your puck management execution is where you want it to be?
I think we are capable of making plays. Yeah.
Are they really on you trying to get the puck out your own end? I know that's part of hockey, but are they really quick getting on you as soon as you get the puck in your own end?
In which regard? In 5-on-5 or power play?
5-on-5.
5-on-5? No, I think our 5-on-5 games there. Thought we played really well majority of the game, 5-on-5. Obviously, would have liked to be able to prevent the face-off on the last one, but I think our 5-on-5 game's in a good place.
I think the Oilers Plus streaming service went down there for a little bit at the beginning, figured it out near the end. I think that was Zach Hyman to start.
Yeah.
A little bit grainy, but you heard from him there. Power play is going to be fine. Special teams, they're going to need to figure it out. I'd argue the PK is the one that I'm worried more about. Combine the lack of players, Dickinson and Rico, and the fact that the Ducks, they got some killers. They got some shooters on their side of the ice. With good comes bad. With bad comes oily. And for this, maybe it's a little bit of a PSA, public service announcement, that I didn't know we have to make. Stop throwing shit on the ice during a hockey game. I always have a tough time telling a man or a woman what to do. You pay a lot of money for those seats. You yell whatever the hell you want, drink whatever you want, kind of really do whatever you want without starting a fight or being egregious. But the moment that you affect the play on the ice and somebody has to go clean up your mess, it's immature, it's juvenile, it's just fucking stupid if you ask me. And more than that, I want to point out that was it Donaire? Was it a Donaire that was thrown on the ice? I've heard Nachos, I believe Donaire. to throw that on the ice when the Oilers score a goal to tie up the game, I do believe, all of the momentum on your side in Rogers Place, the building absolutely rocking, and they need to go to an extended TV timeout to clean up whatever the hell you did. I don't know why it was thrown. There's no excuse for it. Stop doing it.
I think that might have killed the rally.
I'm willing to say it did. Whoever that is, do you feel good? Was it funny? Like, did everybody around you laugh and go, oh, what a... No. Pisses me off.
No, apparently from eyewitness reports. The quote I got from a message was...
He's missing his ear, too.
Quote, fucking stupid fuck. Everyone was losing it on him as he ran up the stairs. Okay. So he ran down, I assume, threw it, and then ran up like a child.
Well, he got obviously yanked from the game. Yes.
Somebody said it was a chicken as well. I have heard that as well.
A chicken shawarma?
We need to figure out what it was.
It's a duck. It was a duck. No,
maybe it was a duck.
Nobody
I don't know. Like,
when you do that, but if you're gonna throw, because there are traditions of throwing things on the ice,
if you're
not
gonna throw something,
better be an octopus.
Yeah.
Better be your hat.
Yeah, you know, like
or throwing it back.
That stuff is a tradition.
That one
thing.
first. That one first.
And it's before the game. It's not after 4-4 tying goal, 6 minutes to go. If the puck in the offensive zone below the goal line, where you're, you know, Frederick's in the middle, they're trying to win a puck battle, you know, and dig for a go ahead goal. But man, it just a silly, stupid.
Threw a roasted duck, says Lance. If it was a duck, I might have a different. No, I still won't.
We still lost. You can't.
Yeah,
anymore.
no, exactly.
I genuinely, because if
that's a waste of money.
First of all,
funny.
We need to find out what this is, because if it's a donair, there's no more donair cannon. There's no more donair nothing. You can't have any donair anymore.
This is why we can't have nice things.
But if it's like a chicken or something or a duck, that might change things.
They X-ray your body up and down before you get into that place.
It's got a rotisserie chicken saran wrap to your body.
Is it strapped to you, taped in? Like,
so why do you smell like a Portuguese barbecue?
It's a condition. It's a condition.
What do you like?
I don't like. I'm offended, actually. That
like Dennis Hopper and Speed, where you just like, here's a trench coat, and here I got pheasants taped to me. Like,
gets into the building, he's like, I gotta go to the bathroom.
I have something up there so bad.
You're squawking, sir.
Sir. Feathers in the stove. You're squawking.
No, I am fine,
sir. That's my ringtone. Huge Ducks fan. Huge Ducks fan. Either way, my closing thing. Don't fucking do it. All right.
McDavid, Harry Ainley is in the house. Like the high school, Harry Ainley.
There you go.
All right, time to move on. Let's go now to the Jeans Award. The LVP, who was wearing the denim tonight, brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, because only the finest tasting meat products earn the Will Hawk name. Made from 100% Alberta beef. Their jerky is aged, seasoned, smoked, and marinated to savory perfection. They gladly fill orders of any size, and you can find their jerky, sausage, and other products exclusively out of their Leduc location. And for more info, head on over to willhawkbeefjerky.com. I bet your ass you'd never throw Will Hawk Beef Jerky on the ice.
Damn straight.
You ain't ever going to waste that. Candidates for the Jeans. Tell me why it's Connor McJeans.
McDavid just turned over pucks left, right, and center and just belligerently tried to skate through players. Once again, they would bracket him well. He would try to flip passes. They weren't direct. They got broken up. They led to turnovers and rushes the other way. It nullified momentum. It didn't allow his wingers to get into the game as often as they could and should have been. It was a almost shocking performance. It was unlike we've seen Connor McDavid play in the playoffs. Not like that. McDavid in the postseason, you've rarely had to wonder, is he going to bring it tonight? Is he going to be a net positive? I just think he's forcing things, almost trying too hard to make these, big plays out of nothing. And he just needs to, this team overall They go on a 5-game win streak. They play some better hockey down the stretch because they weren't forcing things. They were comfortable playing a lower event game and keeping a third forward high and keeping pucks low in the offensive zone so that there would be fewer rush chances and all that type of thing. So I just think it was emblematic of everything tonight. And McDavid led the way. That's for sure.
It wasn't good. There's no way to sugarcoat it. And once again, I mean, if I told you McDavid was going to be held pointless for the first 2 games of this series, you might have been like, oh shit, Ducks are up 2-0. It's a 1-1 split. We're still in a good spot, but he's going to need to make some adjustments. Yes, there was an ankle injury. We understand that. He was making these same boneheaded decisions in game 1. So, once again, I know it's going to be a factor for him, but I don't think it's the reason why. And, it's just those extra touch passes. Only 3 giveaways listed by NHL.com. That feels light on that number. And I don't want to sit here and keep harping on it. McDavid was not good in this game, and I expect him to turn it around as we move. But, I mean, no points through 2 games. We started game 1's pre-gaming, me going off about how he is the 3rd highest points per game in NHL history in the playoffs, only behind Gretzky and Lemieux. So let's not forget that. All right, this kid easily, come game 3, could come out with a nice 3-4 point performance, and none of us would be surprised. It's just worth monitoring that. It's funny you said, it's almost shocking how bad he's been. I texted Doobie at one point, and I was like, this power play is just brutal, but that's shocking in and of itself. How is Connor McDavid arguably the worst player on the power play as well? But it is what it is. Connor McJeans wearing the denim tonight for me.
Lance is not wearing the jeans tonight because Lance just came in with the exclusive, the scoop. It wasn't a donair.
Oh.
It was a roasted bird of some sort.
I'm all the way back in. Oh, shit, I might be all the way back in. Okay, first reaction, that's disgusting. How did he get that in the building?
No, who knows?
Rogers Place security is usually pretty good. What the hell? All right, I started this off by saying you're an idiot if you're throwing stuff on the ice. That still applies, but that is gross to look at.
Nasty, dude. That is
Yeah, that's not a donair.
And they kicked out Neon too, and they couldn't get this dude who has a fucking bird in his clothes. How do you get that in?
He waited till the 3rd period to throw that. So I want to make it clear: whoever is sitting next to this man or woman, we don't know who. I could only imagine the scent that was. Oh my god!
Do you think they went into the Loblaws before the game? That has to be the only way that you.
Where do you even get that?
In the back.
Yeah,
you gotta pay extra. You gotta pay extra for something like that.
But again, if you're throwing because there are traditions that are like this. That's done before. That's done before the game as some it's not in the middle of the most crucial juncture of the hockey game.
He's trying to unsaran wrap it. Just wait.
Cover me.
What was he waiting for? The duck to give birth?
He had to get the eggs.
Did you hunt that yourself? Because if you caught your own here, then maybe
that'd be sick.
Maybe that counts for something else. There's a lot of weird shit that happens in Edmonton during the playoffs. It brings out the crazies. It brings out the fun, the wild stuff.
The last 3 days, though.
We're back. Yeah, we're missing an ear. We got this going down. Neon was getting banned, whatnot.
Shoddy Mills freestyle.
Shoddy Mills is just, that's just a regular Tuesday, brother.
So the American feed must have shown that because that's a score bug there in the top left. So they didn't. Rogers was like, we want no part of this. They ran to commercial. There was no reference. It was like a streaker was on the ice. You know what I mean? Where they're like, hey, we're not acknowledging.
Brad, I can't wait till you have to make that clip tomorrow and put 2 minutes later. Oh, fuck, it was done. Oh, shit.
Might just start from here.
So I want to say as well, don't do it after the Oilers tie up the game. That is funny. I do have a slightly different stance on that now than if it was just a donaire you paid $18 to get. You might have paid even more for that.
Butter says, imagine that person's living conditions.
I don't want to.
It's the dude from across the street. He got out of his dryer.
Good Lord. Well,
That's one for us. That's one for us on the inside.
What have we learned? Well, it's not a good luck tradition, this one. Clearly.
Don't do it again.
Tried and failed rather fast. So, wow.
Yeah, Mile High just said it. That's just crazy. Yeah. Once again, now, who was the first person to throw an octopus on the ice?
It was 1952.
Like, I'm sure that guy was socially ostracized as well.
These guys, they owned a like supermarket in Detroit.
31
like,
teams across
toss this thing out there.
Every time the Ducks come to your city, somebody has to throw a dead duck on the ice. Regular season or not, you got to do it now.
Well, in the 50s, because it was original 60, you need 8 wins. 8 wins to win the Stanley Cup. So the octopus.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so that's what started.
that.
And then they rode that. They'd thrown the octopus, and they'd gone on to win the Stanley Cup. So.
No, imagine what the guy who figured out that cows have milk does.
Yeah, that was Waz's take recently. He said, which is a fair question. I never really thought of that before. What were you doing down there? What are you doing down there?
Hey, what are you doing now?
Brett, you got anybody for the jeans? We got real distracted at that point.
Are we still doing jeans? No, genuinely, it was Connor McDavid. I've never been so frustrated with him in my life. As you guys have already said, I am sitting behind this dual monitor computer. I'm not going to tell him how to play, but I can tell him that he sucked tonight. But I'm sure that's not going to last very long either.
Although we might be paging Jack Roslovic soon. We might be.
Ooh.
I thought he was okay-ish,
right.
Not really.
Dude, I said that the third line just says no identity, no...
And not to, beat a dead duck here or whatever that was. But, Trent Frederick could impact the game occasionally.
There wasn't much tonight.
Like... He's going to be here till the end of time in Edmonton. Like he could impact the game occasionally, occasionally. As you know, I hardly talk about it anymore because my standards are so much lower.
9 minutes, 3
What do you
hits,
do? What do you
zeros all across the board elsewhere for Trent Frederick. You know where else I got 0? It's at DeBoard's Bankroll.
Oof.
Brought to you by Bet3. So maybe not 0, but my total units would tell you 0 tonight. So responsibly, download their app today. Bet365. Use the promo code NATION when you do so. Take advantage of their many features, including the 3-goal early payout. When you bet money line before puck drop, if your team goes up by 3 at any point, you will get the early payouts. Nobody would have got it in this one tonight. Brett, throw it up for me. What happened with the bankroll? Ugly stuff. The boards man did not get paid tonight. Shout out to Kawhi Leonard. Kapanen. Whoa, Brett. Kasperi did get 2 shots on goal now. They stack corrected.
Oh.
I need to see a green check mark. No, you don't have
That's
to.
$0.
It's still $0. But it's less egregious on my eyes. And then the second option, which feel burned, scorned on this one, Connor Murphy only had 1 block in this game. I was considering going up to 3+. He had 1, Ekholm had 3, Nurse had 2, Wallman had 2. Tough one for Connor Murphy. And then Jake the Snake Wallman. Like this one, it had the best odds, and it hit. He actually had 3 shots on goal in the game. I think he should have had 4 or 5. I was screaming at NHL.com for not crediting him with shots on goal early in the first period. But it doesn't even matter. Thank you, producer Brett. 2 out of 3. Still a big fat 0 for me on the bankroll. Like where the Oilers went over on the power play. And Brett, I do believe we have... Is it Chris Knobloch?
I've been dying to hear some relevant knob.
Talking about Connor McDavid and some of his struggles tonight, how he was fighting it. Let's take a listen to Christopher Knobloch.
Do you feel that Connor's fighting the puck, and did that lead to the turnover for the shorthand goal? Absolutely. I think he's putting a lot of pressure on himself. He wants a lot of, obviously he wants the team to do well, and he's a leader, and usually when we have success, he's a big part of that. And, there's stretches during the season that he hasn't been the best player. There's nights that he hasn't been outstanding. Doesn't happen very often. And, I'm certain that he's going to find his game.
Well,
no, please. Chris Knobloch, your thoughts on Christopher Knobloch's thoughts?
I think that Knobs, he's on the right track. I mean, we know that Knobloch's got a lot of confidence in Connor McDavid, and I think Knobloch's right to have that confidence because we know that Knobloch trusts McDavid a lot, and he's a good player. So I think that we're going to need a little more, and that'll come.
I was just thinking during that, I'm thinking of all of our favorite reporters around Edmonton and whatnot goes on in the locker room. Curious if this continues for McDavid, how Speck is going to word his question about, so you think it'd be difficult when you keep skating into 3 defenders on the blue line? And look at Connor's face when he asked that one.
Sidney Crosby. Sidney,
He tries to avoid it, and he's won Stanley Cups.
Sidney Crosby also dives like a motherfucker.
Oh, tonight was a throwback Crosby.
Yeah, it was tough. We'll get into it with Around the NHL in just a couple minutes. We did get our final voicemails in, correct, Brett? I think we are ready to go on that. We do have one more clip as well, and it's momentum. It's playoff hockey. It's a game of runs. It's not the NBA and a game of runs, but that's why you play so hard to get home ice advantage, right? Is you want to keep your momentum swings on your side. Connor Murphy spoke to the media post-game about some of those momentum swings and Anaheim fighting back, getting back into the game. Let's take a listen to the Oilers trade deadline acquired defender, Connor Murphy.
You guys have, it's a couple games now, and you've had, good period, tough period. It's kind of been bouncing around a little bit here. What do you think is lacking in the consistency overall here?
Yeah, consistency is part of it. The first game felt like it was just so emotional coming out in the first, and we dropped a bit of that in the second. Tonight, I don't know if it was as steep of a drop-off, but it just felt like when there's shifts that we aren't going our way, we just got to be better at managing it and making that B shift not turn into a C or D level shift, giving up the chances and momentum that strikes us for too long of a time. So we have good players in here that know how to counter it, and we got to be better at recognizing and pushing back momentum when it shifts.
It wasn't as bad as it was in game number 1, but the Edmonton Oilers kind of took another nap for the middle frame in this game. And second periods, Menzies, have not been their game all season long. Once again, like you said, this felt like game 84 of the regular season. A lot of the same struggles for 82 games carrying over, and it did again tonight.
Yeah, and, for Murphy, big goal for him to get on the board.
Great Sally.
He's not a usual goal scorer in the same way that Dickinson isn't. So, again, the Oilers can be encouraged. Their depth has stepped up. It's been the big boys often in these games, either both or one, that haven't had their usual output. But they are getting contributions throughout the lineup. Murphy, a piece of it, and that was a big goal to make it 3-2. So, and I thought Murphy had to stabilize Darnell Nurse a lot more tonight than game 1. I don't think we mentioned Nurse's name tonight, and it
wasn't good. I've seen worse performances from Darnell, but it felt like he was, and sometimes that's where I feel like Darnell really struggles, is when he's really chasing the game type situation. He's trying to make an impact.
Winning this mental war with him right now, because now it's 2 penalties Nurse is taken. And look, McTavish is a bit of a rat, don't get me wrong, and respect to him, he's a hard player, but he's a bit of a rat, because it's twice now that as soon as something happens, he's looking right at the right at the ref, and then McTavish doesn't get called on the high stick on Bouchard that leads directly to that goal. But Nurse's penalty, before that whole situation doesn't need to happen because he's just throwing a puck around. Like, I thought there were moments where, okay, we're seeing him use some free ice, getting up into the play a little bit more, which isn't bad. But I thought Podkolzin needed to lay it on Nurse's stick on that rush chance there in the second period. You remember Nurse is the trailer. But tonight was not Daryl's game.
He's at least being physical, and there's some playoff Nurse that loves to step up in the rush and throw shots on goal. It's a sneaky place to bet on Bet365. Maybe I'll go there. No, Nurse is going to fuck me if I try and do something like that. Of course he is. Somebody, well, you never know.
I like how you had to try and...
Oilers
Battle from the back room.
Oilers YMM said, how are you boys still talking about that circus? It's 12:20 a.m.
Buddy.
We do this a lot.
We're broadcasters.
Come on now. We got the
Professionals.
greatest jobs in the world. Still got oodle noodle to eat when I get home later.
We haven't
at
even
night.
played a game. We haven't even done a game or talked about Gavin McKenna. I was going to mention...
Is it kick? The Oilers power play.
Battle. He fessed up in the chat. He knows. I wasn't very happy about his absence today for 4:30 Jeopardy. I understand we start a little late. We're starting at 7.
That doesn't mean miss 4:30 Jeopardy.
But that's the cutoff, and that kind of messed with the feng shui. I'm not
Becomes
going
an
to lie.
employee and immediately dips out
Strolling
on
in.
what is arguably as important as the game itself is pregame Jeopardy.
I was here.
I was here.
I showed up.
You showed up right at 4:30.
Right at 4:30.
Routines become even more important.
Well, I
during
showed
the
up at
playoffs.
4:20, but
He's got his feet kicked up over there on the desk.
fucking guy.
This fucking
Watching
this
NTV
coworker
now.
of mine. This coworker of mine. Shout out to Battle. We love and appreciate him.
He said, I need to get gas, and it was busy. That's a lame.
you get gas and Wetaskiwin?
Pumps aren't busy right now. Oh, Costco.
He's got the
Costco
Costco
gas.
pump.
all
In
right.
Wetaskiwin?
The Hughes by our office. He's a millet guy. Give a shout out. Those sounds in the room, Connor Murphy, all of them. We're brought to you by the Prairie Toyota dealership. Looking to dominate off the ice as much as your team does on it? Well, check out the Toyota Tacoma. Its standard I-Force engine boasts an impressive towing capacity of up to 6,400 pounds. In fact, it's the most powerful Tacoma ever. So whether you're hauling gear to the rink or heading to an away game, you can tackle it with ease. The available panoramic multi-terrain view monitor gives you a live underfloor view to navigate even the toughest terrain with ease. When it's time to load up, the available power lift gate makes loading your gear in and out a cinch. Experience power, capability, and convenience with the Toyota Tacoma. Shout out Toyota. Been driving one of them for pretty much my entire life. Couple more super chats. Just one. It was McDavid again with another gif of a turkey wearing a headband, giving hang loose, I believe, that just says cool.
At least it wasn't thrown on the ice.
Ooh.
True.
Cool. Every time I'm going to see a bird now, I'm like, should I throw that thing on the ice?
Should I save that to throw on the ice for game 5? There's one upstairs.
There is a dead bird upstairs.
Holy shit.
Well, boys.
Omens.
Fate.
Omens.
I mean, fate's just doing stuff for us. It'd be rude of us to not do what God's trying to tell us to do right now. There were some other games around the NHL. First round of the NHL playoffs is the best time on planet Earth. Combine that, I'm a basketball guy, I'm a hardwood guy. The NBA first round isn't great, especially the 1-8 series is, but first round's the best, and I hope you enjoyed a good evening implanting the ass groove on your couch. And we're going to go around the NHL right now, quickly brought to you by Lease Busters. If you're stuck in a car lease and you want out, Lease Busters connects you with someone to take it over. No penalties, no buyout headaches. Instead of paying thousands to break your vehicle lease early, you can transfer it. Lease Busters makes that process simple. So, situation Oilers fans might be quite familiar with. Stuart Skinner, bad in tonight's hockey game.
Whoa.
Around the NHL, give me the noise, Brett.
fucking guy does it.
I'm not in
talking
standings
about
watch.
tradition.
The word standings watch is my thing that leads me into it. Around the NHL, Penguins got smoked 5-2 by the Flyers. Game 3 was back in Philly, commanding 3-0 lead, and our boy Stu did not have a good hockey game. 24 of 28 for an .857. You've heard me in this chair a lot be like, he was better than his .800 save percentage. No, he was not. He was arguably worse than that .850. I think it was the Ristolainen one that beat him 5-hole one-on-one, and he just stared aimlessly forward after he beat him. And I went, oh, I've seen that movie a couple times before. And there was another one from the point as well. I forget who the other goal was, but not good. And the Pittsburgh Penguins, they're on life support, down 3-0 with Game 4 going in Philadelphia. Yeah. Are they dead?
Yeah.
Should we be throwing a dead penguin on the ice?
Yeah.
Pretty dead.
Are they endangered? Are they endangered?
I feel like
They're
you're going to get
Don't do that.
International
Don't do that.
news if that happens. That's going to be.
It's like taking a flamingo from Vegas.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman ain't going to be happy if you do that. Shout out March of the Penguins.
Shout out to March. This is March.
Anywho, so the Penguins finally got a lead. They finally got a lead, 1-0 early, and then all the chaos and all the extra stuff seemed to just tilt the ice in the Flyers' favor. I mean, at one point, there were 11 players in the penalty box in the second period. We were watching, just shaking our head, and there was the Crosby high stick and embellishment, which was, honestly, was the type of play that years ago used to make me dislike Crosby, or just made it hard to root for him, was these...
I will look past it. I'll find a way. I'm a Patriots fan.
The sneaky, dirty, then embellishment type of plays, and it's been a bit throwback in that sense. But the Flyers are checking their way.
Their fourth line wrecked the Penguins' shit in this hockey game.
Yeah.
Guys like Garnett Hathaway, they got under the skin, and it was right when, there was 11 dudes in the box. Trevor Zegras scored a power play goal. He then skated by the penalty box, banged on it, whatever, to celebrate with the guys in the box. They had their own little circle hug, jumping up and down in the box, while the boys did also right outside the box on the ice. And then there may have been a point or two, maybe to the Penguins. I don't know if it was the Flyers in the box or the Penguins in the box. Either way, it's electric. And say what you want about Trevor Zegras. That's hockey playoff hair coming out of his helmet on the side. It's gross. But I will like it.
I keep hearing people talk about how Sheloffs needs to start Game 4, but I forget who it was in this office who said it earlier. It was a great point. These Pens fans don't know about Games 4 to 6. Stuart Skinner,
It's going to be a damn shame if they can't get to a Game 5, 6, 7.
Shelovs in earlier. They had to be quick for Shelovs. Put him in Game 2.
Yeah.
Let Shelovs lose Game 3.
We've seen this script.
Let Skinner play Game. The whole
your
cycle.
research,
The
Dubas.
cycle.
Sick scouting, buddy.
What's the name of that coach again? Dan Muse?
Who gives a
Dan
shit?
Muse.
Yeah,
Dan
that
Muse.
weird-looking dude.
I wasn't going to say what I said earlier, but thank you, Brad.
He looks like he listens to Muse.
I want to shake
Sorry.
That's a good.
Sorry, Muse
that might
fan.
be one of
That
the
was
best
good.
ones ever.
That was-
He also looks turtly enough for the turtle.
Yes.
Turtle,
yes.
turtle.
Ain't that the truth?
And then the Stars beat the Wild 4-3 in double overtime.
Kind of wish we got to watch more of this game.
Wyatt the Wizard Johnston. I saw they put on NHL's
Wizard.
tweet. Kind of in on that nickname, but either way, Stars, they got a 2-1 series lead. Game 4 will go in Minnesota. We all agree this series is going 7 games. There's no way it's not.
Yeah, you got to think. And now the shoe's on the other foot for the Wild. 7 straight playoff rounds lost. Some chances, a third period lead. Some good lucks. I will say, though, and I don't know, I might get shit for this, but
Do it.
like compared to the other playoff round, like this has been a pillow fight. Oilers Ducks. Compared to these other playoff rounds?
Oh, yeah.
When you flip and you're watching
Golden Knights, Utah, unbelievable. Lightning Habs is just
you're
hockey
watching
on
Hagel,
steroids.
it's Slavkovsky,
Boom.
everything else. There's death threats in Mammoth.
You look at Pittsburgh,
Golden
Philly,
Knights.
they've got 11 dudes in the box.
Yeah, like it's been a real grind in these other series. And this one, like I said, it just kind of felt like the regular season extended a little bit, you know?
That's the Pacific Division pillow fight for you, folks.
What do you do?
Chase in the chat, Chase Orvis, which honestly is a good point. I can't believe we're this far in. So we're like 2 hours in. Are the computers kissing dogging or what?
All right.
Give her a little
How
kiss.
does a laptop kiss? Like, where's the mouth?
Kiss.
So I go this way.
Yeah,
Oh.
this is awesome.
Oh.
Whoa.
Whoa,
That's more than kissing, Lance.
69ing? What the fuck?
Viewer discretion is advised.
Crazy.
I got consent. I swear to God, I got
I
consent.
should have taken
Whoa.
the sponsor off of that. That's
I'll give you one of these, too.
BBL's the bottom, I
Ooh,
guess.
little aftercare.
Okay.
Switch hitter. You can do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Wherever you want.
This gets on top. You're crushed. So,
Suffocated.
fair enough.
Suffocate me.
Oh, man.
Also, Percy was in and said, I love Muse. What's wrong with Muse?
Yeah, I was going to be a stray.
All right, boys. We're
me, daddy.
hey-oh.
That's a wrestling thing.
It's a late one right now. Okay, a couple more super chats, then voicemails. Chad is in with $5. The last time a duck was thrown on the ice was in the 2017 playoffs against Anaheim. Stop doing it. Anyway, Oil and 5, cup year.
Cup year.
Lance then drops $5. On a different note, Raiders get Mendoza tomorrow. Congratulations.
Maybe not. No.
Him and Kirk Cousins, the same person, will be on the same squad. You, Giants fan, have the 5th and the 10th overall pick?
Yeah, we got options. We got options with the Giants. We're it's a new regime. It's the Harbaugh era.
Post
and
Dexter Lawrence, who I heard is 390 pounds.
He's massive. He's a big boy. Sexy Dexy is a problem in the interior line. And the Bengals.
And the buffet line.
Yeah, whoa. Hey, now. Well, good. Bad news for him is that Cincinnati is historically cheap, and he'll find out that the internal cafeteria not as stocked as East Rutherford, New Jersey. But big day for the G-men. There's been a lot of bad days for the G-men, and hopefully this is the start of something positive. Be nice.
Sexy Dexy going to get a sponsorship with Skyline Chili out of Cincinnati. 1,000%, because that's like their big. That's the big thing over there.
Yeah.
That's just a marriage. That's a marriage made in heaven. But Lance, congrats on Mendoza.
This Dexter Lawrence, Mike. He's
So here's a guy who
you want to talk about a sexy man? I said, wow, Sexy Dexy, they call him. Unbelievable. Lawrence. Wow. What a player.
top 10 pick in return.
Chris Collinsworth really let himself go.
Yeah.
And then finally, Zooch. $4.99. Gritty also murdered a penguin tonight. What's with NHL fans and killing birds?
Wow.
Also, gonna need the Knights top line to score more. Zooch was our Golden Knights fan, right? That was in. He was in recently, and we were like, dude, we love you, we appreciate you, and for some reason, he or she seems to love and appreciate us.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you watching.
Hang out. Everybody love everybody.
We're an all-market show. How about Kyler Yamamoto?
Dude, I said this today to Jay when we were talking about the Utah-Vegas game before O&E, and I went, man, who would have thought a neck injury was actually that big of a deal? Because now, Yamo was unbelievable for the Mammoth. I almost said hockey club. I blanked for a second there.
HC.
Ooh. Him and Dylan Gunther, and who was the other guy on their line as well?
Cooley.
Dude, it was like... Once again, you look at, your Yamamotos, your Eberles. We often think guys, with that stature can't maybe deliver in the NHL playoffs. He was unbelievable in that game. And Dylan Gunther is just, and Cooley, they're superstars in the making.
Their speed is creating problems for the Golden Knights.
Gunther had sneaky speed last night that I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
I
well,
wasn't aware of this.
The big goal for them when Iamo just starts it off with that subtle back pass, Gunther flying down the wing, and yeah, so it's an interesting. There's a couple nights I think coming up where the Oilers game is opposite that one. And I'm actually disappointed because I've really enjoyed watching that series a lot.
That sucks. That actually sucks.
Get your PVR out that you're always talking about.
I know.
This guy's still PVR.
I'm PVR. I got the game PVR.
I PVR. I was PVRing tonight. I had AEW on, of course. It's Wednesday. You know what that is.
I just use my Telus TV on the laptop because you can go in and always but everything's recorded.
But you can't skip forward though. Which when Taylor and I record,
that's an excellent point.
Yeah, we can't when we record Trivial Pursuit. Right. We can skip through the commercials. Yeah.
That's
also,
TV.
Logan Cooley just getting under the skin of everybody is nuts. But Zuch did say, change the topic.
Yeah.
All right. Let's head to the voicemail line then, and we'll mosey on out of here. The voicemails are brought to you by GMC Truck Month. It's Truck Month, and that means it's your opportunity to get into a 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 Pro Graphite Crew Cab at 0% financing for 72 months. You're getting a 2-inch factory lift with off-road suspension, a powerful 5.3-liter V8 engine, and a commanding presence that demands attention. Hurry in to go see the Sierra 1500 Pro Graphite Crew Cab in person and take advantage of Truck Month. Before it ends. Producer Brett, take it away. What do we got from the folks?
Yeah, I was just bringing in one last one here because we're going to want to listen to that. But we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 voicemails to wrap up tonight's show. Let's start off with, I think this is a first-time caller. This is Jake. Let's listen to what Jake has to say.
Just want to start by saying, big fan of Oilers Nation, especially every day. But, man, that game just made me angry, for lack of a better word. Don't want to swear on here. But almost what made me more mad was the unluckiness. I don't want to give the Oilers any kind of, don't want to let them off the hook. But holy, that 5th goal bounced off Draisaitl's skate. I think it was the second goal. Bouchard got a high stick to the face they ignored. That's just going to happen, but doesn't seem to happen for us too much. Probably just complaining, but I mean, this is probably the worst outcome we could expect for a game. A McDavid injury and a loss. At least it wasn't a blowout. Some of the guys showed up. Happy for Szymanski. I mean, that's basically all I got to say is probably the worst outcome tonight. Also, happy birthday to Liam Horrobin. Best birthday ever. Might be my birthday as well.
Oh.
Got to add
birthday.
that as well. St. George's Day also coming up on Friday, I think it is.
Red beers.
Yeah, we're getting red beers ready. I got the food dye coming.
Yeah.
We were talking about it at the in-laws, brother.
Ooh, Friday, red beers.
Yeah, and hopefully Liam will bake us some more cookies.
Hopefully not.
Maybe gloves next time.
Oh, the hands.
The hands just, it's absolutely disgusting.
The murder hands.
I appreciate that voicemail. I also you're allowed to swear on here. Fuck. If you want some evidence there. I love that you just keep this thing on here.
Happy birthday to you.
What was Liam Orban doing before this? Years from now, we'll forget cookies. But we'll have this photo and be like, our boy go boom boom?
You should,
Mom, I flew up.
you should see the rotisserie chicken.
That's not throw up, Brett. That's not throw up. What that looks like.
Oh, wow.
We appreciate the caller there. Yeah, I mean, bad game, all things considered. I mean, I'm going to choose to find it positively that McDavid had said, hey, I'm just fine, kind of rolled up on it a little bit, but he finished the rest of the game. Let's be positive. Let's move on. 2-hour rule's about to be up. So we got to move on to game number 3. But thank you for watching Oilers Nation every day.
Yeah.
I push all the buttons on that.
Well, I push all the buttons on this one, and I'm pushing the button on Harry's voicemail. Let's listen to Harry.
Hey, Oilers Nation, it's your boy Harry, and there's a couple things I want to touch on after tonight's game. First of all, we've probably seen the 2 worst games of Connor McDavid's career. This is somehow good news, because the Oilers have managed to score 4 goals per game without McDavid touching the score sheet at all. The moment he wakes up, this might be a shorter series than people thought. Secondly, the goalie jeer. The Lucas. Once upon a time, this used to be a jeer saved only for when goalies had an actually bad game. I know that Nashville ruined this during their 2017 run, but the Oilers are down 3-1, and people are starting the Lucas jeer. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I would love it if we could keep that for when they're actually playing bad, because there's a lot of things that players like to turn into motivation, and if you're jeering a goalie when he's having a good game, he's going to turn that into motivation.
Cup year.
Now, that was a great call. That's not his real voice, right? Was that an AI or was that his real voice?
I think it's his.
Because if so, take my job.
Don't.
I could. Can you read me books on tape, and I will fall asleep to them every night? Because that was good in all the right ways. Now, I don't know, where do you come out on that and what he said?
I agree with him about the goalie thing. Like we touched on a little bit.
Dostal said he doesn't really hear it.
Yeah, and I think
Doobie's told us he does.
I think fans are just trying to manufacture some energy or just switch it up from.
They're
Let's
bringing
go
in
Oilers.
dead ducks into the building.
Yeah, but no, and to his first point, I think that's completely true. Is that how long can the Ducks contain McDavid, especially when a lot of these mistakes are self-inflicted. You know what I mean? Like, and again, like even to the first caller, like there was some element of some puck luck tonight for the Ducks, like in a major way, and largely the Oilers had the puck in the game, so they have to clean up those things, and that's why it's not like a panic scenario. But if the Oilers aren't going to adjust and be smarter and manage the puck and look like the more experienced team, then you're going to have issues. So
I like that. You actually, no notes on that.
No notes.
And that was a beautiful call. Thank you very much. Harry was his name? Harry. Welcome to the team. Thank you for calling.
Second time we said Harry today, and the first time was Harry Ainley, so I'm happy that was the better context. Moving on, Kool-Aid has left a voicemail.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, press the wrong button. Excuse me.
That may have been my bad. I said the last game was the worst game McDavid played. This one might have topped that one. Praying game 3 is better.
Cup year. Yeah, he really did one up himself in this one. Once again, there were flashes, there were good stuff. We saw, like you mentioned, a couple in tight passes that just missed to Zach Hyman. He also escaped what could have been. Man, I thought McDavid in that moment when he got tangled up with that call, maybe I've watched too much NFL football in my day, but where you see a lineman get rolled up on the other guy, gets his foot in there, and like
big time,
can't get it out in time. McDavid was at least able to get it out and stay in the game. Looked like he got it taped up and whatnot, but yeah, it wasn't good. Wasn't good for Connor McDavid.
Yeah.
Pope Luigi in the chat says, "My brothers in Christ, I'm Harry. It is my real voice.
The Pope is Harry. Harry's the
Set
Pope.
up straight for the Pope.
Harry Pope.
And he's got a
Nice to be with you.
condenser mic.
Yeah, large diaphragm and a condenser mic.
He's...
What do you do that you have a condenser mic?
Yeah, and he's plugging that in to, you're just doing the speak pipe here off your phone or,
You should DM me. I might need you for something. I've got an idea. I could use your voice for something.
Interesting.
I'll share afterwards.
Oh, okay. All right. 3.
Some ASMR with the old wife.
It's just dirty talk.
Yeah. I need something to send to my girlfriend. It's our anniversary coming up. We got 3 more voicemails here. This next one's coming in from Vinny.
Well, shit, boys. All I gotta say is that fourth line is a fucking handful, and also, if at the beginning of the year you told me that in the first few games of the playoffs the thing we'd be struggling with the most is the power play, I would have thought you had gone insane.
Cup year.
Cup year.
Yeah.
I would also say that's the biggest reason for optimism, right? That the Oilers have gotten considerable depth scoring through 2 games, but it's been the top dogs at 5v5 and the top dogs on the power play with the man advantage that haven't been able to get it done. Maybe it's not the most inspiring thing I can tell you, but that's not going to happen for long. This team is too good to stay down for that long, and that should actually be a reason for optimism and positivity. Shout out our boy Rusty, but shout out that caller.
Yeah, no notes, yeah.
All right, we got 2 more, and this is where things get a little interesting. This next voicemail comes from Bob Stauffer, so I'm not. This is going to be interesting.
I mean, we lost tonight, but we had Evan Baby Big Dick Bouchard coming in. We had McDavid kind of cut off. We had Ingram playing a pretty solid game. Fuck the Ducks. We're doing this. Let's go. Every single year, it's never, ever easy. Every single year, it's always hard. Let's go. Let's go. Bordsy, Red, let's get this shit.
Cup year.
Cup year.
Eat shit, Menzies.
I could just bask in that one. That's okay. That's okay.
Who was that left that one?
Bob Stauffer.
Bob Stauffer. That's Bob Stauffer.
That was the real Bob.
That's just the speaker in Royal Pizza that's playing as he's waiting for the Mediterranean chicken.
I'm more of a Fred Special kind of guy from Royal Pizza. Former delivery driver.
Brendan
back in the day.
Escott will prefer the Texan.
Dude, you know your Royal Pizza pizzas.
Oh, he knows.
Fred Special, Royal Special.
I used to listen to some Oilers.
Chef's
now.
mistake.
Yeah.
No free ads, but just gave him one.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What? That's just for us in the room. What
Yeah,
just happened?
that's not going to go over well in our next sales meeting. Alrighty, and our final one comes from none other than Peyton.
Oh.
What is up, fellas? How you boys doing? Boys, I was in the moss pit today. I was in the moss pit. It got really freaking cold. I went to the other one, the tent one, and I got in both of them. I'm kind of surprised. We snuck a couple interviews, and I was in there, so I was kind of shocked. But about the game, this is gonna sound really weird, but I'm kind of happy the Oilers lost. Now, I know you're gonna probably why are you happy they lost? Because I feel like everyone's going I feel like even the players have went into this series acting like this is going to be too easy. When it's not. Like the Ducks are a playoff team, right? Like it's not just they're not going to go down without a fight. Like everyone's like, oh, they're going to sweep them. This is easy sweep. It's like, dude, this Oilers team has been kind of up and down all year. They're down right now. Now that I think that they lost this game, McDavid and the whole team's actually going to kind of wake up. So I actually look at this loss as kind of a win because I think this is going to wake up McDavid a little bit. I think McDavid, I understand he's kind of injured right now, but I think he kind of took his foot off the gas pedal a little bit. I think the whole team kind of so. But honestly, I'm not mad at the loss because now we're just going to win 3 straight in a row.
Woo! Cup year.
Cup year.
Yep, I agree with, you don't want to lose. That's the definition of loser talk right there. It's like this big fat L. But if I add another L, it turns into a W. Look at that. Now, yes, Peyton. Battle, can you do me a favor? What did Peyton have on the board for Oilers predictions?
Yeah, what was...
Oil in 5, and he's saying a lot of people had the Oilers running away with this series. Now, he didn't have a sweep.
There was a ton of Oiler confidence. Not necessarily unwarranted, but I did think it was interesting that they won 2 of their last 6 games. And, the Ducks had won more games than the Oilers, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, of course, how could they lose to Anaheim? You know what I mean? And my concern is this, is that the whole year there's been this waiting of an Oilers team that they can get up on a team early, continue that, and pound them. And it's next thing you know, it's a 4-0, 5-0, runaway, a blowout type of game. They've had segments of games that trend toward that, the first period of game one. But then they'll just go into these lulls, these lackadaisical lulls. And next thing you know, they're trailing. And they have to claw their way back and fight their way back. And the whole time is like, even after winning game one, it's like, wow, McDavid doesn't score. The Oilers get their B game. Wait till they get their A game. The issue is that this year, there hasn't been that many A games from the Oilers where they are well-rounded against a good team. Now, I'm not saying that that's, it's impossible that that's going to happen. I expect the Oilers to play better. But they're going to have to get back to the way that they were playing that made them successful at the end of the regular season, where they are, managing pucks, protecting pucks, and dialing in a structure to their game.
Like, do you remember last year's playoff run? That's why I get so angry when talking heads out Easter. Johnny Lazarus, who doesn't watch the Oilers, is ranting and raving about them because there's this idea that when they're at their best, they're just a run-and-gun offensive kill-you power play merchant type team, but that's not the Oilers at their best. We saw it last year's playoffs. They ran through the Western Conference by playing confident, safe, smart hockey in their own end. Take care of it in your own end, and everything else will happen on the other side. They're too talented, too skilled not to take advantage of their opportunities, and it feels like, at least right now, 2 games in, they're not really in that game, and that applies to the cycle as well, wearing down a team through a 7-game series. They got to work on it. They got to adjust, and we'll do that. Game 3
Here's
on Friday
something,
night.
maybe a closing thought idea. How much better do you think the Ducks can be in a game than tonight? Or is that
This has been their best.
I'd say maybe a little bit better because I don't want to completely put them in a box, but this is pretty close to, tonight you dial up the game plan, I would argue that was pretty much it. And then you look at the Oilers side, there's so many players, so many specific areas, power play, penalty kill, maybe even your goaltending to an extent, just a little bit, that could all improve. So plenty of reasons for optimism.
Yeah, and I think that's a fair way to look at it. Because they didn't, in Anaheim, didn't have too many self-inflicted wounds like they did in game one. The Oilers probably had a similar amount, if not maybe a couple more. And they need to tighten their screws in that area. But we know the Oilers have more to give. I was curious to see if the Ducks tonight could elevate. They did elevate, but I think we're getting close to the ceiling there, where the Oilers have a whole lot more room.
The ceiling is the roof, as the great Michael Jordan once said.
That's
It was
pretty profound.
the dumbest thing I've ever heard, but whatever. Peyton asks, Aaron, are you going to Greta Friday? Brett, I love your answer. Aaron is going to bed. It's almost 1 a.m. right now.
Yeah.
Chat, we love you. We appreciate you all. Shout out Devon Dubnyk, producer Brett, Menzies Battle, co-worker Tristan Battle, behind the scenes. It's lovely times, win, lose, or draw. We got the greatest job in the world because of you guys. Do me a favor, throw down the courtesy like, make sure you are subscribed to the ON YouTube channel, and then tune in tomorrow, 12:01 Mountain Standard Time for Oilers Nation every day. Ty, Liam, myself, breaking down what went wrong in this hockey game. And while you're there, if you're looking to gear up for a long Oilers playoff run, you could also oil up.
Oil up.
NationGear.ca. Head on over. Playoffs. We got new merchandise for the playoff run. T-shirts, hoodies, hats. We got it all. The oil derricks on the back of these bad boys. We got like the dad hat looking hats. Then you got your classic snapbacks as well. Get them all NationGear.ca, and also our events and all kinds of playoff stuff. Tickets available there as well. Michael Menzies, I love you and appreciate you. But I'm tired as hell and want to go to bed because I have a show to do tomorrow at noon. So, peace out, everybody. We love you all. Pre-game and coming at you again Friday nights. I'll see you then.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you enjoyed today's episode of Oilers Nation Every Day, make sure you hit the subscribe button here on our YouTube to not miss any of our content. We got you covered, from interviews, insight, analysis, everything you need to stay up to date on everything around the team. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video.